how to be more yourself online. This is the topic of today because this year I really tried to find my voice and to come back online on my Instagram, on my YouTube, on my podcast as the fullest version of me. And it's been hard, to say the least. First of all, because personally I was going through being postpartum, gaining 30 kilos, looking at myself in the mirror and seeing this fat girl I don't recognize. And I hated myself. And then I lost important friendships in my life. And my relationship was super rocky with the initiation of parenthood. So I felt loved. Unloved by myself, unloved by my people, unloved in general. And I felt invisible online. I felt like no matter how much I've been trying online for so many years, nothing was really sticking and working the way I wanted to. My following wasn't growing. My engagement got super low. I was not invited in podcasts anymore and everything. And I slowly rebuilt momentum and felt more and more myself online. And that's the journey I want to take you on today. Welcome back. Happy Friday. We have a different little setting today because the girls on YouTube knows we have a new microphone. We upgraded the podcast after 5 years of consistently showing up on the podcast. We finally have a new mic. I initially just started on my phone, so no fucking excuses. And then I upgraded to a Blue Yeti. We have another mic that feels a lot better. So this is the first trial. I also have to be fully transparent with you. I just recorded 47 minutes of an episode that just got wiped from the file that I was recording on. So I'm redoing it, but I think it's a blessing because I was going on so many tangents. And yes, it's called full circle so that we can always come back full circle, but we also need a little clarity. But the topic of today is how to show up authentically and be even more of yourself online so that people get a real taste of your work, a real taste of yourself. And I also preface this episode saying I usually talk about the things that I master, that I'm very confident on, and that I know were silly or dumb, or the things that I now know for sure and I'm very convicted. What I'm sharing today is very different. I'm sharing about what I'm learning right now. Things that I have implemented this whole year, but things that I'm learning right now and implementing right now that I don't fully master yet, and things that I'm taking courses and being mentored and coached around. And I just wanted to share transparently this journey so that we can be like the two students helping each other, like doing homeworks together, like, hey, how can we tweak that so that we build even of a stronger brand? What I ultimately want for my business is to make millions being a hot girl, meaning that I make shitless of money and I get the lifestyle that I really dream of. I want to travel the world whenever I want to. I want this super bougie lifestyle and wear the dresses that make me feel so beautiful, sexy, and sensual. I want peace and legacy for my family. I want to be able to provide everything I want for my daughter. I want this life of opulence, of being rich, making money, not having to struggle. But I want to do it in a very rigorous, beautiful way, meaning that I want to do it doing what I love, what I'm passionate about, what I'm willing to suffer for. Like, girl, I'm willing to suffer for my business. I'm willing to suffer for this, but I'm not willing to suffer for a 9-to-5 that I hate. I want to make that money in a clean way. When I mean clean, I mean not betraying myself or my values and really doing things that feel good and they feel right. But I also always want to grow and learn. So when I think about my vision, this vision is big. This vision is bold. This vision is like, oh my God, who does she think she is kind of vision. And it's scary to admit it. Like, I'm afraid of people judging me of like, who do you think you are? Like, you're nothing. And you're never going to have it, right? But that's also why we build strong conviction, right? But I'm sure you know what I'm talking about when I say that. Like, you have a vision so big, it's scary. And it's different from where you're at. And so you're building yourself as you go. And it's a very humbling journey. But what I want to talk about today is the power of building a personal brand and what happens when you are in the midst of life, raising a baby and going through all of the turmoil. When I say I lost friendship this year, I mean I lost my best friend of 15 years, someone I thought would be in my life forever, someone we chose as a godmother for our baby, someone that I felt like was a sister and part of my family, someone I trusted with everything. And this friendship collapsing was super hurtful. And I had to hold myself through it and build myself through it and show up in my business through it. Same with being 30 kilos overweight from pregnancy, feeling so insecure in my own skin, feeling like I lost my glow, like what made me so beautiful and sensual and oh my god, magnetic and everything that I'm here about. You've seen me through a lot, but how do you show up authentically when you don't know who you are? That was the big question that I asked myself again and again and again and again this year. And so in this episode today, I just wanted to share a little bit of a piece of advice that I took on that is very controversial, but that really helped me. I see so many coaches selling their programs and their mentorship saying, come to me and hire me so that you're not throwing spaghettis at the walls anymore and you find that one strategy that works. Guess what? In my world, we throw spaghettis at the walls. The walls are covered in noodles in my world because experimenting and tweaking things and doing more and having this like scientist approach of like, I'm just going to try everything, like the mad scientist. You don't want to stay in that forever, obviously, because at some point you also want to like chill and lean back. But there are phases in your business and in your life where you get to experiment. It was the same in love, in my dating life. Like, I didn't know if I wanted the traditional monogamous wedding marriage kind of life. So I had to experiment a little bit to realize how strongly I wanted that. And then I met my man, and it was just so obvious that I wanted my king, my man, my husband, my baby daddy, and everything. All of that to say that sometimes we do want to throw spaghettis at the wall. We want the trial and error. We want the experimentation because that's what reinforces our power. So to circle back to that one piece of advice that is very controversial that I really applied and I'm still applying right now is volume. I think it's Alex Hormozy that talks a lot about volume and how it takes, I don't know how many hours, but it's not that much to learn a new skill. And so if people were committed enough to like lock in and learn those skills, they will become master at it. So basically that's what I've been doing this whole year is volume, so that I can practice being more and more myself online, seeing what actually lands, what doesn't, and then adapt, just work on my messaging. I think having a powerful brand online really comes down to a few key elements that you cannot really bypass. One is being able to display who you are. I know people sign with me when I'm the most me. And that's why it's so easy in person. When people, they meet me and I say what I do and I see the vision I have for them, they just hire me on the spot. Like I have no hard convincing to do because they're in my energy. That's also the feeling that I'm trying to recreate now when thinking about my office suite. Like what makes sense so that people get a taste of what it's like to work with me before they invest in my 5K big container that is Business Activator, right? So displaying who you are, displaying your unique personality, your own take, and not just your expertise in what you know, but your unique method and your approach. I feel like when people have a sense that they know you and they can trust you, you start to have this like powerful brand that people recognize and they trust and they know they're safe investing in you. The second one is messaging. A lot of us are incredibly talented at what we do. We have a genius, we have a unique way of doing things, and it's so freaking powerful and magical. It's actually very revolutionary. It's so good, but we have no clue how to truly market ourselves. And we hear a lot of different advice out there, but it's sometimes very confusing to grasp. Like, how do I really talk to my people? How do I have a marketing and a messaging in particular? Like, how does my message really talk to the right people so that book my offer with less friction and less time possible, so we reduce the gap as much as possible? And this is what I invested a lot of time learning this year in 2025 is how do I make my marketing better? How do I make my hooks better? How do I learn how to write as I talk instead of having this very like boring thing? This very morning I went through my sales page again because I'm working so hard on my marketing again on a much deeper level. And being part of a mastermind right now, we're are doing like homeworks with the girls in it, and we're like helping each other's out. And I'm going through my sales page and I'm like, whoa, that really sucks. And it's part of that experimentation. It's part of that volume. The more I'm going to do, the more I'm going to learn, and the better I'm going to be. And people want to skip that step because they want the done for you thing. And I want this too. Like, there's no shame in wanting that. Like, who wants to do a lot of effort and trial and error forever? Like, it's wasting really precious years of our lives. Like, we don't want to be DIYing the business anymore. We want people to know, and those people to have make the mistakes for us. So we try not to make those mistakes, and we learn from both our mistakes but also other people's mistakes, so that we can fast track and reduce the gap between where we want to be and where we're at. So that's why my job even exists, right? This is what I do. This is what mentorship, coaching, courses, they do for you. They give you the knowledge and the trial of error of someone else, so that you don't have to struggle for so many years and waste precious time, because you don't get that time back, and you don't get the money that you didn't make back. So you want to learn as much as you want from that, but you also at some point gonna have to put things in place and see if they fit to you, see if they work. Even if someone is giving you a all done for you strategy, hey, do that ABC and this will work. It works for some people. Chances are maybe for you it's not going to work the way it worked for them, because there are a few different factors. Maybe the size of the audience is not the same. Maybe the country from which you operate is not the same, and the culture is not really the same. Maybe your level of energy or your conviction in your work. Like, there are very intricate parameters in business. It's not just one thing. It's not just one strategy. It's not just one belief system. It's not just one identity upgrade. It's not just do this and then you have that and it works every time. You've seen so many different people having so many different strategies, and it worked for all of them, even though it's very different. But that you find out just by trying and doing. So volume, the more you do, the faster you actually collapse that time. You're not wasting so much time doing trial and error forever, because you're trying and erroring so that you're learning so much. And that has been me this year. I'm like, I need to do more volume. I need to show up more. I need to post more on Instagram. I need to refine my messaging more and see and tweak it. Like, how do I really speak in real life? How can I be more myself online? This question has been haunting me this whole year. And instead of doing what I usually do, which is going through that, learning what I learned, and then feeling so strong and then being able to teach it, I just wanted to connect today. So this episode is more about connection and feeling like we're together on this journey of improvement and building a strong personal brand and being obsessed with our work and wanting this vision, this big vision we have, to come to friction and sharing what it takes to get there. And I think people don't like to talk about this because it's a very humbling part of the journey. It's realizing that sometimes we suck and sometimes we have a vision for who we are and it's not that. And you're not there. And your content, when you land it to your own page, your own Instagram page, you're like seeing something that is not a reflection of your genius. That is not the reflection of how cool you are, how amazing, how premium your offers are. And it's that gap that I'm really working on this year. I think a third component that I really want to mention here is something that I thought about this morning, having a conversation with one of the girl from the mastermind that I'm in. I feel like I'm making friends so easily. Like, it's crazy how I can bond and love people so fast. So I was having a conversation with this girl this morning because we are both trying to improve our messaging and take it to the next level. And she is already so good at it. Like, she told me she's been full-time in her business for only 4 months. And I couldn't believe it because of how good her content was. It was really igniting desires, talking into, the primal desires of her dream clients, and really selling strongly and telling amazing stories, using storytelling to her advantage in her brand. And it was done like so amazingly. I even had screenshots of her stories in my notes because I have 2 folders on my phone, because I am that mad scientist that is loving a good experimentation. And with experimenting also comes analyzing. If a content really speaks to me, it goes into a folder of like good copy. And if I come across a content that I feel like could really use improvement, aka a content that really suck, and I'm like, it totally missed the point. I'm bored. I just want to swipe through. I take a screenshot of that and I put it in another folder called Room for Improvement. And so we were doing homeworks together this morning, and I was like, wow, girl, like, I get it. Like, there are stuff that you can improve. She She wanted people to be able to move faster, to take action. She was like, yeah, I really speak to my clients and I have everyone in my DMs, but like they don't move fast. Like it takes me a long time for them to sign. Another thing she wanted to work on, it was like being more spicy, like bringing more of her fire online, this like wild energy. And I just wanted to be smarter in the way that I can ignite desires and really talk about the transformation that my offers really help people with, and how do I display that in a way that is grabbing attention and saying a story like, oh my God, it hits home. And it's great. It's great to be in that realm of you take sentences and you go through your sales page and you analyze what you did and what it creates and how you feel. Like I love that. But there is also the part of identity work and energetic work, because I was seeing this new friend that I have in the mastermind with me. She is amazing at messaging already, and I don't feel like she needed more skills, but she wanted to be more spicy. She was already good at messaging. So if she becomes more spicy in herself, it will naturally translate online because she's already good at conveying a message and sharing stories and everything. And so it's funny, and it's the same for me. How do I show up more myself online? That's what I found out when I did more volume. It's just, I need to be more me. I need to find my voice. And in order to find my voice and be more myself, I need to just be there and keep doing what I do and be okay with this feeling of like there's still a gap. The gap is ultimately what we're trying to close. We're trying to close the gap between our potential and what we can feel is activating in us and who we are right now, and feeling like we're not there. And then working on the tiny micro adjustment that we can do. For me, I needed to have that vibe of like I'm welcoming people in my living room, because something that I love about me is to create a vibe, an ambiance. You see it with the lights, incense, essential oils. Like I love everything that makes the space feel very intimate, very cocoon, very sensual. A place where people feel safe to be themselves and to really embrace the duality of everything that they are. Like they're fire and spicy and like ambitious, bold, almost like no BS, but also very soft and very sensitive and having so much depth to them, and being able to have a space where all of that can coexist in a very safe, loving space. And so how do I translate that online? Through my visuals, through the way I talk, through the way I show up, through the way I express myself. That, and learning not only how to market myself better and to improve my messaging, but also having system in place that do the heavy lifting for me so that I don't exhaust myself and I don't hustle for every sale and I don't lose myself in the craziness of running a business, and I can be more efficient in what I do. And guess what? Right now you are literally in my living room, and I have a candle here and a little light behind and a better microphone so that the sound in your ears are more pleasing. I have my velvet curtains behind me. In case you're not watching on YouTube, I'm just describing the room. You're literally my living room because we do not have extra rooms in this house. So we are managing. I have PL in the room right now, just waiting for me to finish this podcast so that we can be together and have lunch together and cuddle. And I definitely need to apologize because he showed up half podcast recording to the door, and I was very surprised to see him, and he was in the middle of the podcast, and I was like having this hectic energy, so I need to go apologize to him. So I won't be so long, but what I mean by that is that helped me so much to find myself again, because this is what I love, this is what excites me, and I want to bring people more into this, more into my real world, almost like attaching people to my vision. You know what I mean? Like we're in this and we're creating this vision together. It's not just my vision. I want people to be in that energy, allowing myself to display different facets of me, the facets that I usually hide or feel like they're not professional enough or not good enough, or that I need to show up always in this one way. That's also why I showed up to the podcast today a little bit more relaxed. Like I inclined my chair so that I feel like we're just chatting, you and me, and I'm not the strict, let me tell you a lesson kind of girl. But you know what? I'm also like so activated by that. Like I just love seeing myself grow and evolve and improve. I see how I'm slowly like really coming back to myself and I can help my clients better and I'm a better coach because of everything that I'm learning for myself too. It's just so exciting and I really feel like I can finally breathe. Says the girl with a blocked nose. But I legit feel like I can finally breathe. And now all of this momentum is making me feel so alive, so passionate. I have life force in my system and I'm very excited about this growth and I'm very excited to create and to create more and to improve more and to see myself going towards the vision one step at a time, being more and more myself online. But what I found out is that there is no perfect formula and strategy. There are things we can do, like telling our story more. This is something that I'm really, really trying to implement, that I need to really, sit down and do it kind of thing. Lead with who we are, what we believe, going a little bit outside the box and the strategy to be more ourselves, but also having the backbone that can help us to be strategic in how we create, how we present, how we market, and also keep learning. Like there is no rush. There is no finish line. We're going to be doing that for the rest of our lives. This is our life's work, our life mission. So of course we want to close the gap and reduce the timeline and not waste years, but at the same time, living under this pressure of having it right the first time. And that's why people don't do volume. That's why people are like, do not throw spaghetti at the walls. Let me tell you the perfect strategy so that you don't waste years. And this is pushed so hard. It's because one, it's amazing marketing. Who doesn't want the shortcut? And two, I think it's because we're afraid. Our little ego is afraid of how humbling this journey is, how humbling it is to not know, how humbling it is to have a big dream and not be there, how scary that is when you're like, am I really going to make it? Or am I going to have to give up on my dreams? And you have those doubts and those wobbles sometimes coming. And I think it's part of entrepreneurship. Even when you're so committed and so invested in your work, you have those moments. I haven't heard anyone, literally anyone, at any given level saying that they don't have those wobbles at times. So building under that pressure of like, it needs to happen now, I cannot fuck it up and I need to find what exactly works. Like just do more volume, not more the same shit. I've done that. This is dumb. This is silly. This is stupid. But guess what? I also need it to be stupid and silly so that I can be strong now. It made me so much stronger because I've learned so much from my mistakes. We don't want to DIY, waste years. We do want to hire the people that have trial and error before us so that we don't have to. This is so important. I should have done that a lot sooner. But simultaneously, do not be afraid to be an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is about making mistakes and looking silly and making dumb decisions sometimes. And not everyone loves to talk about that part because it's not sexy and it's not empowering or whatever. But it's also very freeing to be like, yes, you're going to make mistakes and you're going to suck and you're going to look back and you're going to be so proud of yourself for growing. But the growth is a little disgusting, but it's also always happening. So you're always going to want to go to the next level. And once you reach one level, you don't even realize that you reached it because you're already looking further. Some people say it's bad. I think it's something that we cannot really fight and we don't have to fight it. We just get to invite even more gratitude for where we're at and look back a little more. And then we look ahead, turn our head back a little more often so that we realize just how much we have grown, how much we have accumulated skills, knowledge, wisdom, through the process that is very humbling of entrepreneurship, but also accept that it's part of the game. So to wrap up this episode on trying to be more ourselves online, it doesn't have to come so naturally. It's a game of patience, repetition, and volume. This is what I believe now. This is what I'm in right now of like doing more, and not just in terms of volume, but in terms of repetition, like saying my message and what I believe in and how I'm helping people again and again and again, and also being more me. How can I reconnect with the things that make me special, the things that I love about myself, the things that people love about me, build or rebuild my brand around that. And I'm happy to have you with me on the journey because we are going to the fucking moon and I'm very excited about it, and I cannot wait to amplify my message even more. I really want to push this idea of making millions like a hot girl not like a bro? And how can I embody this message more? I want this podcast to be 10 times more central when I talk about business. I don't want this to be so separated. What amazes me is with my clients, we'll have on the same call, we'll be doing a dance with your higher self and really turning yourself on and doing a lot of those embodiment practices. And then we sit down and we go down to business and we really talk about the strategy and how to build an efficient sales page and having a repurposing content strategy and all the nitty gritty that we also really, really need in business. To some people, they're just selling you fluff with no strategy, no backbone behind it. You're just paying them a lot of money to just be in their energy and be responsible for your own results. But fuck that. Like, I'm hiring you. I'm giving you my money. So you better fucking serve. You better fucking deliver on what you said you're going to deliver. I don't know why I went into this little spice at the end. I feel like maybe I was a little too soft today and I just needed to complain about something so that I still stay really French. So tell me now, where are you at on your journey? Do you feel strong in your brand? Do you feel really yourself online, or are you just at the beginning and scary and even talking to a camera is edgy? Or do you feel like so confident and activated and you just cannot wait for the next level for yourself? I didn't want to use that term. Oh my God, I cannot say it. I am sincerely curious, and I would love for you to reach out to me on Instagram and chat about this episode together. Have a beautiful rest of your week, and I'll talk to you next Friday. Mwah.